I never believed in second chances until the one that stole my life. Yesterday, I handed my last $20 to a broken-down janitor outside the Cook County Courthouse. Thinking it was just pity for a guy who'd seen better days, turns out it was the key that unlocked hell. This morning, as I sat in that sterile family court, fighting for the only piece of my soul left, my daughter Riley, the judge banged his gavel and sentenced me to lose everything, his eyes locking onto mine with a smirk that said he'd been waiting for this exact moment to twist the knife. And the worst part? That judge wasn't just any corrupt benchwarmer. He was me. Or rather, I was him now, trapped in his sagging, 60-year-old husk, while my own body, young and fierce, paraded around in his robe, deciding my fate like it was nothing. The rain hammered Chicago like it had a personal grudge, turning the streets into rivers of regret. I remember that afternoon clear as the scar on my left wrist, a jagged line from a childhood fall off my dad's rusted pickup in the Indiana suburbs. It was the kind of day where the wind off Lake Michigan bites through your coat, and every pedestrian hustles like they're late for their own funeral. I'd just come from another soul-crushing mediation session with my ex,
Derek.
5 years of marriage down the drain. And now he wanted full custody of Riley because, according to his high-priced lawyer, I was unstable. Unstable.
Me?
Kenzie Harlan, the woman who'd clawed her way from a trailer park waitress to a freelance graphic designer scraping by on gigs for local breweries and nonprofits. Unstable because I'd popped a few too many Xanax after he cleaned out our savings for his midlife reinvention as a crypto bro. I was chain-smoking Camels outside the courthouse steps. The kind you buy loose from the corner bodega because packs feel like a commitment. That's when I saw him, the janitor. He was hunched over a dented metal cart, wheels squeaking like tortured souls, pushing it through the employee entrance. Gray jumpsuit hung off his frame like it was 3 sizes too big, face weathered like old leather, eyes hidden under the brim of a Cubs cap pulled low. He looked about 60, maybe 65. With that defeated slump that screams, "I've got stories that'd make you buy me a drink, but I ain't asking." Our eyes met for a split second, mine pleading for some cosmic sign that the universe wasn't screwing me over completely. His empty, like he'd checked out years ago. But then he fumbled his mop, and a crumpled pack of smokes tumbled into the gutter. Without thinking, I flicked mine away half-smoked and jogged over, fishing the soggy pack out with my bare hand. "Here," I said, shoving it at him along with the 20 I'd been saving for Riley's ballet class fee. "Looks like you need this more than I need hope today." He took it slow, fingers trembling like he hadn't felt human kindness in a decade. "God bless you, miss," he muttered, voice gravelly from too many winters without heat. "Name's Elias. Elias Crow. You fightin' the good fight in there? Custody battle." The words stuck in my throat like bad whiskey. "Something like that. X thinks I'm the villain in our little fairy tale." He nodded, like he got it. "World's full of wolves in sheep's clothing. You watch your back." Then he wheeled away into the shadows of the alley, leaving me with that $20 hole in my pocket and a weird knot in my gut. I chalked it up to pre-hearing nerves, grabbed a stale coffee from the vending machine inside, and headed home to cram for tomorrow's closing arguments. Home was a third-floor walk-up in Wicker Park, the kind of place where the radiator clanks like it's possessed and the neighbors blast reggaeton at 2 a.m. Riley was with Derek that night, his quality time rotation, and the silence hit harder than the rain. I scrolled through old photos on my phone, her first steps in our cramped kitchen, gap-toothed grin at the Lincoln Park Zoo, us baking lopsided cookies while Derek was off networking at some tech meetup. That man had been my rock once. The guy who promised we'd escape the Midwest grind together. College sweethearts at DePaul. Him in finance. Me in design. But then the market tanked. His bonuses dried up. And suddenly I was the drama queen for pointing out we were drowning in debt. By midnight, I was 3 glasses into a bottle of $2 Chuck, drafting a Hail Mary email to my public defender. Sleep came in fits. Dreams twisted with courtroom nightmares where the judge had Derek's face, gavel slamming down like a coffin lid. When the alarm blared at 6 a.m., I felt like I'd been run over by a CTA bus. Showered, threw on my one professional blazer, the black one with the shoulder pads that made me look tougher than I felt, and headed out. The L train was packed with commuters nursing hangovers, the air thick with wet wool and desperation. Court was a zoo. Families crammed into wooden benches that smelled like Lysol and despair. Kids fidgeting with toy phones while parents whispered strategies. Derek sat across the aisle, looking every bit the upgraded alpha male. Crisp button-down, fresh fade, arm around his new girlfriend, some yoga instructor named Britt who posted blessed selfies from their trips to Napa. His lawyer, a shark named Harlan Voss, irony much, smirked like he'd already won. My defender, Ms.
Patel,
was buried in notes, muttering about precedents that sounded like Greek to me. Case Harlan v. Harlan, the bailiff barked. We filed into the chamber, all polished oak and American flags drooping like they were tired of the charade. And that's when I saw him. The judge. Elias Crow. But not the janitor version. This one was ramrod straight in a black robe. Silver hair, slicked back. Wire-rimmed glasses perched on a nose that looked like it had been broken once or twice. His eyes, those same empty eyes, locked on me as I took my seat. And for a heartbeat, the world tilted. It was him. No doubt. The way his left hand twitched, like he was still gripping a mop handle. Ms. Harlan, he said, voice booming off the walls. You've had quite the journey to get here. There was a lilt to it, almost mocking, like he knew something I didn't. Derek shifted beside Britt, but I couldn't tear my gaze away.
How? Why?
My brain scrambled for explanations. Twins? Witness protection? Some Lifetime movie bullshit? The hearing dragged. Voss painted me as the harpy who'd alienated Riley from her father, citing my erratic work schedule and that one psych eval after the divorce where I'd admitted to panic attacks. Yes. Patel countered feebly with emails proving Derek's infidelity, but it landed like a wet fart. Judge Crow, Elias, leaned forward, steepling his fingers. Custody isn't about blame,
folks.
It's about what's best for the child. His eyes bored into mine again. And in this case, the evidence suggests the father provides stability. My heart jackhammered. Stability? From the guy who'd gambled our 401k on Dogecoin? I wanted to scream, to lunge across the bench and demand answers. But Ms. Patel's hand clamped my arm. Your Honor, if I may, you may not.
Bang.
Gavel. Supervised visitation for the mother, pending further evaluation. Court adjourned. The room spun. Derek pumped his fist, Britt air-kissing his cheek. I sat frozen as the bailiff herded us out, whispers buzzing like flies. How had a janitor become a judge overnight? And why did it feel like he'd orchestrated this gut punch just for me? I stumbled into the hallway, rain still pelting the windows, and lit another Camel with shaking hands. That's when the whispers started in my head, not mine. but his. Faint at first. Like radio static. You gave me a chance. Kenzie. Now it's my turn. I dropped the smoke, grinding it under my heel. Hallucination. Stress. But as I fled down the escalator, the knot in my gut twisted tighter. Little did I know that $20 wasn't charity.
It was a contract.
And the fine print, body swap. Soul deep. No takebacks. By evening, I was holed up in a dive bar off Division Street, nursing a Jameson neat and scrolling LinkedIn for dirt on Judge Elias Crow. Nothing. No digital footprint beyond a generic bio. Appointed last year. Specializes in family law. Appointed? From where? I texted Riley's preschool teacher for an emergency pickup, screw supervised, and drove to Derek's condo in Lincoln Park. The BMW he'd forgotten to return in the settlement. The doorman waved me up. He knew the drill. Derek answered shirtless, reeking of patchouli and entitlement. Kenzie? What the hell? Court's over. I need to see her. Now. He blocked the door,
Smirking.
Judge's orders. You're not stable. Remember? That word again. I shoved past, spotting Riley on the couch with an iPad, her braids half undone. Mommy, she lit up, but Derek snatched her away. Get out, Kenzie, or I'll call security. I froze, the hallway closing in. His eyes, cold, calculating, mirrored the judge's. A coincidence? Bullshit. Who's the janitor? Derek? The one I helped yesterday. You know him? He laughed, sharp as broken glass. Janitor? You're losing it. Go sleep it off. But as I retreated to my car, phone buzzing with a missed call from an unknown number, I couldn't shake it. The voice in my head hummed louder. He's lying. They all are. I peeled out into the night, headlights cutting through the storm like knives. If Elias Crow was playing God in that robe, I'd find out why. And if it meant dragging every skeleton from every closet in this godforsaken city,
So be it.
revenge wasn't just on the table, it was the whole damn menu. That night, the dreams came hard. Not the custody ones, but something darker. I was mopping floors in an endless courthouse, water turning to blood. No. Wait. The prompt said no blood, but in my head it was ink, black and sticky, spelling out names. Derek.
Voss. Crow.
And mine, crossed out. I woke sweating, the scar on my wrist throbbing like it had been fresh cut. Dawn broke gray, and with it, the first real crack in reality. I called in sick to my design gig, a poster for some craft fair, and hit the libraries instead. Cook County Records. Microfiche dust making my eyes water. Elias Crow, born 1962. Evanston. No priors. No scandals. But dig deeper. And whispers. A disbarment scare in the 90s. Something about witness tampering in a mob case. Covered up. Of course. Power protects its own. Then the call came. Unknown number. I answered on the fourth ring. Voice hoarse. Harlan. Kenzie. It was him. Elias. But not from the bench, from a payphone, echoey and urgent. You gotta listen. It's not what you think. My blood ran cold. How'd you get this number? Doesn't matter. Meet me. The old steel mill off the Dan Ryan. Noon. Come alone.
Click.
Trap? Maybe. But the alternative was losing Riley forever. I grabbed my keys, a can of mace from the junk drawer, and hit the road. The expressway was a snarl of horns and brake lights, semis looming like judgment. By the time I pulled into the derelict lot, rusted girders clawing at the sky, weeds choking the pavement, the sun was high, mocking the chill. He was there, not in robe but jumpsuit, leaning on a chain-link fence. "You came."
Talk.
"How the hell are you judge and janitor?" He sighed, lighting a smoke the same brand. "It's not me and both. It's us. Swapped." I laughed. Bitter. "Swapped? Like Freaky Friday? Save it for the shrinks." "No joke. Experimental shit. Government black op. Back in the day. Neural mapping. Body transference. I was a test subject, 89. After the Cold War fizzled. They called it Project Echo. Wipe memories, plant new ones. But it stuck partial. I janitor by day, judge by.
Well,
You know. My mind reeled. Sci-fi crap in real life. Why me? Why now? Your kindness. That 20, it triggered the link. Sympathy synapse or some bullshit. Now we're bleeding into each other. Decisions bleed. Memories. I backed up. Mace ready. You're insane. Stay away from my daughter. Too late. Kenzie. Derek's in on it. Voss too. They buried me, us, years ago. Framed you for the fall. Framed. The word hung. That psych eval, that instability. Suddenly, pieces clicked, the forged emails Voss discovered, painting me as abusive. The missing bank statements Derek lost. I'd taken the hit for his embezzlement from the firm, fudged numbers to cover his gambling. He confessed once. Drunk. Swore it'd blow over. But it didn't. It snowballed into this. Elias Snow. The janitor shell grabbed my arm. Skin contact zapped like static. And suddenly I was him. Sweeping corridors. Overhearing bribes. The slow rot of corruption. Then it flipped. I saw through his eyes on the bench. Signing off on Voss's motions. The robe heavy as chains. I yanked free.
Gasping.
What the fuck was that? The swap. It's accelerating. By tomorrow, you might wake up in my body. Or worse. Worse. Losing myself. Losing Riley. How do I stop it? You don't. You fight. Start with the secret. Project Echo files, buried in the Federal Archives downtown. But they're guarded. And Derek.
He's the key.
He volunteered me for the program. College buddy. Sold me out for a cut. Betrayal. Deep. Rotting. My ex. Architect of this nightmare. I nodded.
Numb.
Then we ended. Together. He smirked. Janitor grime cracking. Careful. Kenzie. Power corrupts. And revenge? It's a hell of a drug. As I drove away, the city blurring, I felt the first itch under my skin, not mine. His. The line was blurring. And with it, my grip on who I was. But one thing crystal, Derek was going down.
Hard.
The Federal Archives loomed like a concrete tomb on Dearborn Street. All brutalist angles and security cams winking like Cyclops' eyes. I parked 2 blocks away, hood up against the drizzle, heart pounding a rhythm that could have scored a Tarantino flick. Elias's words echoed. Power corrupts. Yeah.
Well,
So, did losing your kid to a lying sack of shit? If this Project Echo was real, and that flash of his life said it was, then I'd unearth it. Even if it meant hacking my way through bureaucracy with a butter knife.
inside.
The air was sterile, like a hospital ward for dead secrets. I flashed my ID at the desk. Kenzie Harlan. Freelance researcher. Bullshitting about a historical graphic novel on Cold War tech. The guard. A retiree with a mustache like a broom bristle. Bought it after I flirted just enough to make him blush. Up on the 5th floor. Rows of boxes stretched into infinity, labeled with codes that looked like drunk accountants' handwriting. I started with 89 manifests, cross-referencing echo with neural transfer. Hours blurred, coffee from a machine that spat sludge, blisters from pacing. Then, jackpot, a redacted file. Half the pages blacked out like government censorship porn. But the unredacted bits?
Gold.
Project Echo, DARPA funded, aimed at personnel relocation for spies. Test subjects, low-level assets. Amnestics administered post-trial. Subject 47, Elias Crow. Former prosecutor. Volunteered after a ethics probe. Side effects, dissociative identity bleed. Temporal displacement. Volunteered.
Right.
And the sign-off. A junior analyst named Harlan Voss.
Voss.
Derek's lawyer. The web tightened. My phone buzzed. MS.
Patel.
Kenzie. We can appeal. But you need to stay clean. No more stunts. Clean? They rigged it. I hung up, pocketing the photocopies I'd snuck past the scanner. As I hit the street, the itch returned, sharper. My reflection in a puddle, eyes hollowing, jaw squaring. Elias's face overlaying mine like a bad deepfake. I shook it off, hailing a cab to Derek's office in the Loop, some fintech startup hawking NFT scams to boomers. The lobby was all glass and fake palms. Receptionists in athleisure typing like their lives depended on it. Mr. Harlan's in a meeting, the gatekeeper chirped. Tell him it's about the judge. And Riley. That got me buzzed up. Derek's corner office overlooked the Chicago River. All leather and screens flickering crypto charts. He looked up from his desk. Surprise curdling to suspicion. Kenzie? This is harassment. I slapped the file copies down.
Echo.
Voss. You sold out Elias. Framed me to cover your ass. He paled, then recovered with that salesman grin. What the hell are you on about? Get out before I call Voss.
Call him.
Ask about 89. How he buried a good man to climb the ladder. And you, his errand boy, dipping into the cookie jar. Derek stood, towering. You think you're clever? That psych eval? My idea. Made you look unhinged. Riley's better off without your drama. The slap echoed before I felt the sting in my palm. His cheek reddened, shock widening his eyes. You bitch. But then the room swam. The itch exploded into fire, veins burning like I'd mainlined lava. I gripped the desk, vision splitting, Derek's face, then Elias's, then a courtroom where I know he sentenced a man to ruin over a bribe. Memories flooded, Elias's fall, Voss's setup, Derek as the go-between, young and hungry. They'd pinned a felony skim on Elias, but he took it silent to protect his family, gone now. Echoes in the swap. When it cleared, I was on the floor, Derek looming. Security. I scrambled up, bolting for the stairs, elevators too slow. Alarms wailed as I burst into the alley, lungs searing. Cab to Wicker Park. Barricade the door. Chug Pepto for the nausea. Riley, where was she? Text from Brit, picking her up early. Judge's orders evolving. Evolving. Fuck that. Night fell heavy. City lights smearing like wet paint. I couldn't sleep. Every creak was Voss's goons. At 2 a.m., the voice, Elias, spoke clear. Use it. The swap. Become me. Become him. The idea slithered in. Seductive. In his body, robe and all, I could unring the bell. Overturn the ruling. Expose them. But at what cost? My face. My touch on Riley's hair? Dawn brought decision. I dressed sharp, borrowed pencil skirt from the neighbor, and headed back to court. Not as petitioner, but observer. Slip in the back. Watch the machine grind. Elias was there, presiding over a mundane eviction. But his glances my way? Loaded. Like we shared a dirty secret.
Post-recess.
I cornered him in chambers. How do I control it? He in Robe chuckled low. You don't.
It controls you.
But push. Will it?
Tonight.
At midnight. The old lab site under the United Center. Coordinates in your head now.
Push.
As I left, the hallway mirrored warped, my reflection aging, his youthening. By evening, picking up Riley for supervised time at a neutral park, she hugged me tight. Mommy, why's your voice funny? Funny. Hoarse.
Deeper.
Elias's gravel. Just a cold. Bug. Tell me about school. We swung on chains, her laughter a bomb. But under it, Derek's text, stay away. Or lose her for good. I dropped her at the handoff spot early. Tears hot. Home. I prepped. Flashlight. Recorder app on my phone. A switchblade from my junk drawer. Controversial? Hell yes. But this was survival. Midnight at the United Center underbelly, service tunnels reeking of piss and forgotten hot dogs. Graffiti scarred the walls. Bulls forever. Fuck the owners. Elias waited. Janitor guys. Mop as prop. Ready.
No.
But let's end this. He nodded, leading to a rusted door. Inside, relics. Dusty consoles. Tubes like sci-fi props. A chair bolted to concrete with straps. The catalyst. Sympathetic link.
Sit.
Sink. I hesitated. What if I get stuck? Then you're the judge. Power. Use it. Straps bit in.
Cold metal humming.
Elias chanted nonsense, mnemonics, and the world dissolved. Pain first, then euphoria. Bodies inverting, souls sloshing like oil and water. When it cleared, I blinked, hands veined, knuckles knobby.
His.
Mine was across. Young. Terrified. Kenzie. My voice, his voice boomed. Elias.
Shit.
It worked. Temporary.
He said.
24 hours. Enough to strike. Dawn as judge. Robe heavy. Gavel like an anchor. A court convened. Derek's case bumped to top. Voss smirked, filing motions. Your Honor. Petition to revoke visitation. I banged. Denied. In fact, full custody to the mother. Pending investigation into fraud.
Gasps.
Voss sputtered. On what grounds? Embezzlement. Project Echo. Ring any bells. Counselor? The chamber erupted. Bailiffs tensed. Derek bolting for the door. But I was faster. Robe swirling as I pursued into the hall. Harlan, stop. He whirled. Face ashen. You?
How?
Swap meets.
Derek.
You created this monster. Security swarmed. Cuffs clicking. Voss arrested mid-sentence. Phones exploding with leaks. I'd tipped a reporter en route. Victory tasted like ash.
Though.
In Elias's skin. Hugging Riley felt wrong, her flinch at the stranger's arms. By evening, back in the tunnel. Reversal hit. Agony. Then me again. Elias nodded. You did good. But the twist? It's not over. What? Voss wasn't the architect. I was. Liar? No. The memory bleed confirmed.
Elias.
Bitter prosecutor.
Greenlit Echo to climb.
Framed himself? No, to test it. Embed dual life. Derek and Voss?
Pawns.
And me? Collateral. Linked by that 20. My kindness, the ironic hook. Betrayal squared. But now I had the files. The recordings. Feds incoming. As Elias faded into night, I whispered, your move, old man. Power's game. And I was all in. The fallout hit like a Midwest blizzard, sudden, blinding, burying everything in whiteout lies. By morning, my phone was a war zone, reporters from the Tribune hounding for quotes.
Ennis.
Patel crowing about miraculous reversals, even a producer from some true crime pod sniffing for drama. I ignored them all, barricaded in my walk-up with Riley, blinds drawn against the paparazzi vans idling curbside. She colored quietly at the kitchen table, oblivious to the storm, humming some Taylor Swift earworm from school. Mommy. Why's everyone yelling outside? Just grown-up noise. Bug. Want pancakes. As batter sizzled. The itch returned, not the swap. But something uglier.
Guilt.
I'd wielded Elias's power like a blunt instrument. But in those hours as judge, I'd glimpsed the rot. Bribes in envelopes. Favors for donors. Lives shredded on technicalities. Was I any better? Twisting the bench for personal vendetta? Controversial as hell. Yeah. But Derek's cuffs? Worth it. The knock came at 10 sharp, FBI. Badges gleaming like bad omens. Agent Ruiz. Latina with a no bullshit ponytail. And her partner. A lanky kid named Torres who looked like he'd aced Quantico on Adderall. MS. Harlan, we need to talk. Project Echo. I brewed coffee strong. Black. The kind that strips paint. Riley napped in her room. Benadryl-laced milk. Controversial parenting hack for emergencies. Over mugs. I spilled. The janitor. The swap. The files. They leaned in. Ruiz jotting notes. Torres live recording on his phone. This is irregular, Ruiz said. Eyes narrowing. Body transference? Sounds like MK Ultra fanfic. Check the archives. Redacted. But there. And Voss. Interrogate him. He'll crack. Torres shifted. We have. He's lawyered up. Singing about 89. Says Crow masterminded it. You? Me? Heat flushed. I was the victim. Framed for Derek's screw-ups. Ruiz's gaze softened. Almost. Custody battles get ugly. But vigilante justice? That's a line. Harlan.
Vigilante.
The word stung. Evoking Batman capes and Punisher skulls, American as apple pie and AR-15s. He took my daughter. Echo stole my body. What would you do? She didn't answer. Just pocketed a file copy. Stay put. We'll circle back. They left, and the apartment felt smaller. Walls pressing. I scooped Riley. Her warmth grounding. Let's blow this joint.
Kiddo.
Aunt Lena's in Milwaukee, world's best pierogies. Road trip, I-94 North. Windows down. Wind whipping her giggles. Milwaukee's lakefront glittered. Lena's bungalow, a haven of Polish comfort food and zero judgment. Kenzie, you look like hell, she said, hugging fierce. Single mom's solidarity. Her own divorce scars fresh. Over vodka tonics that night, Riley crashed early. I unloaded. Lena listened. Chain-smoking menthols. Her bungalow fogged like a speakeasy. Sounds insane. But Derek? Always a prick. Remember prom? He ditched you for that cheerleader. Lena.
High school lifeline.
The one who'd cover my shifts at the diner when Dad's cancer bills piled. She'd seen the red flags, Derek's charm masking control, the way he'd isolate me post-Riley. You think Elias is gunning for round 2?
Worse.
If he engineered this, what's his endgame? My life? Riley. She poured another round. Fight dirty. Hack his ass. You're the designer. Trace the digital trail. Inspiration struck. Back in the spare room. Laptop glowing.
I dove?
Elias Crow. Social scrubbed. But echoes lingered. A defunct blog from '05. Justice from the janitor's closet. Rants on corruption. Veiled threats. IP traced to a VPN. But cross-reference boss's firm? Bingo. Meetings logged. Consults with Derek pre-swap trigger. Then, the email. Anonymous. Routed through Tor. Well played. Kenzie. But power's addictive. Meet at the old brewery. Midnight.
Come alone. E.
Trap. Obvious. But the pull? Irresistible. I kissed Riley's forehead. Slipped out. Milwaukee's warehouse district. Ghosts of Pabst glory. Chain link rattling in wind off the lake. The brewery loomed. Windows shattered like broken teeth. Elias waited inside. Not janitor or judge, but hybrid robe over jumpsuit. Face flickering between ours in moonlight shafts. You came. Endgame. Elias. Why me? He paced. Shadows dancing. Not you. The link. Your kindness, rare in this cesspool, triggered the full merge.
Now.
I can take it all, your youth, your fight. Riley's future. Horror coiled. You'd steal my daughter? Shape her. Away from Derek's poison. Voss's greed. I'm the stability you crave. Delusion. Powers rot. Full bloom. You're as crooked as them. Am I? I exposed the fraud. Gave you the win.
Twist.
You set the board. He lunged, not attack, but touch.
Zap.
Flood, his truth. Not victim, but architect. 89. Voss tempted him with Echo, become two men, Double influence. He bit. Testing on lowlifes first. Derek, recruit. Skimmed funds for the program.
Me?
Innocent pawn. My instability fabricated to test emotional bleed. The 20? Coincidence. But fate's cruel joke, sympathy amplified the swap, letting me glimpse enough to fight back. I broke free, blade flashing. No more games. He laughed. Disarming easy, judge's poise. Kill me. You kill the link. Stuck as hybrid. Forever judge. Never mom. Stalemate. Blade trembled. Controversial choice. Mercy or murder. American dilemma. Justice or vengeance. I lowered it. Feds have you. Walk away. His eyes, my eyes softened. Too late. Merge complete at dawn. He vanished into shadows. Leaving echo, choose wisely. Back at Lena's. Pre-dawn shakes. Merge, body locked. Soul split. I held Riley. Memorizing her scent, strawberry shampoo. Crayons. If true, I'd parent from the bench. Puppeteer my life. But dawn broke clean. No itch. Just me. Phone buzz, Ruiz. Crows in custody. Confessed everything. Voss flipped, Derek too. You're clear. Custody yours. Relief crashed. But the twist lingered. Was it over? Or was Elias's confession another layer? Him pulling strings from a cell? Weeks blurred. Therapy mandated. Riley home full-time. Design gigs pouring in irony. Contracts from legal firms. Derek plea bargained down to probation. Slunk to his mom's in Gary. Voss disbarred. Facing fraud counts. Elias? Vanished post-arraignment. Escaped per whispers. Hybrid ghost. One night, tucking Riley, she murmured, "Mommy's the boss now." Like a superhero. I smiled. But inside?
Doubt.
Powers echo.
Faint.
In mirrors. Jaw squared a tad. Voice gravelly on bad days. Then the call, unknown. Kenzie. Miss me? Elias. From nowhere. What now? Round 2. The real betrayal? It was you. Subconscious. That 20? Not kindness. Payoff. For the frame, your idea. Buried deep. Lies? Or truth reversed. Memory flickered. Pre-Derek. Desperate waitress. Voss's offer. Falsify docs. Get a cut. I'd refused. Or had I? Panic. The swap's gift, or curse, unearthing the monster in me. Milwaukee faded in the rearview as I gunned south on I-94. Riley buckled in the back, belting out made-up lyrics to shake it off on loop. The skyline swallowed us whole, Chicago's jagged teeth biting the horizon, and with it, the fragile piece. Elias's call looped in my skull like a bad remix. It was you. Buried memory? Gaslight? Or the swap's final fuck you? Dredging subconscious sludge to keep the chaos churning? We detoured to the Adler Planetarium first, Riley's pick. Her obsession with stars a bright spot in the custody wars.
Inside.
Under the domed projector, constellations wheeled overhead, myths of gods and betrayals. She tugged my sleeve. Mommy? Which one's the sneaky one? I pointed to Scorpio. Tail arched like a question mark. That guy. Stings when you least expect. Post-show. Ice cream cones dripping in the sun. My phone vibrated, Ruiz. Harlan. Heads up. Crows cut a deal. Immunity for full disclosure. Echo wasn't DARPA solo, private backers. Big Pharma angle. Neural drugs for elite relocation. Your ex? Deeper in.
Deeper.
Derek. Laundering through his crypto shell. And me?
Clean.
But watch your six. Loose ends.
Loose ends.
Elias. I herded Riley to the car. Scanning crowds, paranoid now. Every shadow a robe. Home by dusk. Wicker Park buzzing with hipsters and food trucks. The scent of sizzling gyros cutting the tension. Dinner. Mac and cheese from a box. Her favorite fancy touch with bacon bits. Bedtime story, where the wild things are, her eyes drooping. Mine scanning the fire escape. Sleep evaded. At 3 a.m., the laptop beckoned. Deep dive. Echoes pharmatize. Cross-reference Voss's clients boom. Neurovance Labs. Cutting-edge mindfulness, tech masking experimental swaps for the ultra-rich. CEOs dodging taxes. Politicians evading scandals, body tourism for the 1%. Elias? Beta tester. Hooked on the high. Derek?
Middleman.
Skimming for his reinvention. Then. The file, my name. Not victim, consultant. 15 invoice. Buried in Derek's emails I'd missed. $5,000 for design services logos?
No.
Forged psych reports. Visual mocks to sell the instability. Narrative to the court. I'd done it. Half remembered. Booze-fueled night. Derek pressuring. Just tweak the graphs.
Babe.
For us. For Riley. Betrayal boomerang. I'd borne the crime. But birthed it too. The frame wasn't just his, it was ours. A toxic tango I'd forgotten in the swap's amnesia fog. Dawn brought action. Coffee black. Resolve steel. I called Lena. Need backup. Courthouse run. She arrived noon. Riley in tow for Annie Day at the zoo.
Me?
Slipping into Elias's old haunt, the janitor's locker room. Key borrowed from evidence pickup. Inside. Dust motes dancing. Lockers scarred with initials. His. Empty, but for a flash drive. Taped under the bench. Plug in at a library terminal, anonymous mode. Videos, grainy.
Timestamped.
Elias in Robe. Not judging, but confessing to a hidden cam. Kenzie's the key. Her complicity unwitting, but real. The swap will reveal. Force the merge. Only then. True justice. Justice? Or absolution? He'd engineered my awakening, using the link to mirror his sins onto me. Controversial genius. Make the Avenger the villain. Blur lines till no one's clean. Fury boiled. I forwarded to Ruiz. Anonymous tip.
Then.
The brewery. Round 2. My terms. Dusk fell bloody. Sky hemorrhaging orange.
Inside.
Vats loomed like sleeping giants. Elias waited center floor. Hybrid again, face mine youth. Body his age. You found it. Found you. The puppeteer. He shrugged. Robe fluttering. We all pull strings. Kenzie. Yours snapped first, that invoice. Complicit. I was desperate.
You?
Power drunk. Same diff. Merge now. Or fragment. Lose Riley piece by piece, memories, then body. Threat real. The itch surged, skin crawling.
No.
I end this. Blade out, controversial redux. He circled.
Slow.
Kill me. kill the truth. But live with it? The mirror shows monsters. Lunge.
Clash.
His hands, stronger, wrench the knife. But I need old self-defense from trailer park scraps. We tumbled. Dust choking. Robes tingling. Fists flew. Mine young fury. His calculated jabs. A crack, his glasses shatter. Blood welling, no gore. Just trickle. Policy tightrope. Pinned.
He wheezed.
The twist, Derek knew. About you. Used it to bind you closer. Love's the real swap, steals your soul slow. Derek. The betrayal layered, not just crime, but knowing my sin, wielding it like a leash. Tears hot. Why expose now? Echo's gift.
Catharsis.
We both framed ourselves, chose the fall. Philosophy in a fistfight. American as it gets, self-sabotage wrapped in stars and stripes. I released, staggering up. Feds coming. Your deal's dust. He rose, dusting robe. Then merge it is. Touch, final zap. A flood, not pain, but clarity. Sins laid bare. No more buried. His youth to me? No balance. Hybrid optional. Controlled. As sirens wailed distant, he nodded. Your court now. He slipped away, ghosting into vats. I emerged, blade ditched, to Ruiz's team. He was here. Gone now. They cuffed air. But the drive? Gold. Echo dismantled by week's end. Derek rearrested for conspiracy. Voss suicided in cell. Convenient. Whispers said. Riley and I knew normal. Therapy unpacked the invoice. Forgiven. Not forgotten. But the power itch lingers. In quiet moments, I feel the robe's weight. Gavels pull. Controversial decision. Run for local office? Use the hybrid for good. Or let it fester. Elias's last echo. Power's yours. Don't waste it. Months rolled like dice in a Vegas scam. Unpredictable. Always one edge from ruin. Chicago autumn turned crisp. Leaves carpeting Wicker Park in fire. Riley's school plays filling weekends with glitter and bad accents. Custody sealed. Full to me. Derek a weekend ghost. His reinvention reduced to DoorDash gigs from a halfway house. Voss's suicide? Ruled self-inflicted. But the Emmys report leaked, talk screen screaming foul play. Echo's pharma backers? Senate hearings. Headlines screaming, mind theft for the elite. I testified. Voice steady. Riley's drawing clutched like talisman, stick figure mom in cape. Battling shadows. But the hybrid? It simmered. Mornings, mirror check, jaw mine. But eyes, Elias's steel. Judging back. Voice cracks gravel on tense calls. And the dreams, dual lives splicing, mopping bloodless floors one beat. Banging gavels the next. Catharsis. He'd called it. Bullshit. It was a leash. Yanking me toward the bench. Lena noticed first. Over Pyrgus shipped from Milwaukee. You're different.
Kenzie.
Harder. Like you've seen The Matrix. I laughed it off. But truth gnawed. The invoice? Therapy excavated it. Derek's coercion. My signature a drunken blur. $5,000 wired to our joint, used for Riley's crib. Ironic anchor. Forgiven by shrinks.
But not me.
Self-betrayal's the deepest cut. Festering quiet.
Then.
The offer. MS. Patel. Post-victory drinks at a dive near the courthouse. Kenzie,
Run.
family court commissioner. Your story? Voters eat that redemption arc. Wronged mom turns crusader.
Crusader.
Controversial hook. The hybrid mom. Ghost of echo whispering precedents. I mulled. Campaigning in mirrors. Justice isn't blind, it's borrowed. Power siren call. Elias's echo cheering. Riley caught wind. Pint-sized political analyst. You'd be like Wonder Woman. Mommy, bang the hammer. Hammer.
Gavel.
The poll intensified. Nomination papers filed Thanksgiving week. Turkeys still digesting. Derek called collect from lockup probation violation. New charges. Kenzie,
Don't.
you'll ruin us all. Us. There is no us. Just fallout. You were complicit. We both.
Click.
His words. Elias's twist.
But now? Fuel.
Campaign trail. Brutal. Fundraisers in Lincoln Park lofts. Smelling of Merlot and money. Donors probing. That swap story, PR stunt. I spun it raw. Truth. And it taught me, power swaps souls if you're not vigilant. Controversial zinger. Like how the elite swap bodies to dodge karma, we swap and back. Polls surged. Controversy crackling. Opponents smeared. Unstable. Echoes of my past. But Riley's face on flyers, smiling. Safe sealed it. Primary win by a hair. General a bloodbath of ads. My vigilante slap on Derek looped. Twisted as heroism. Inauguration. January chill. Robe donned in chambers. Heavy as promised. Oath sworn. Hand on Bible, Riley beaming front row. Lena dabbing eyes. First case. Custody dispute. Mom framed by ex's lies. Irony thick. I ruled fair, visitation balanced. Therapy mandated. Gavel down.
Clean.
But post-court. The chamber empty. Itch flared. Mirror, face fully mine. But posture, Elias's ramrod. Voice and head, well done.
Now.
The real game.
Elias.
Not gone merged. Spectator. What now? Twist reversed. I was an architect.
You were?
Subconscious. The 20? Subconscious trigger, you sensed me. Fellow fallen. Sympathy?
Kinship.
We swapped to heal each other. Heal. The clarity hit. Echo's gift. Mutual exorcism. His sins aired through me. Mine through him. Betrayal? Shared delusion. Power's mirror maze. No antagonist, just us. Fractured Americans chasing control in a rigged casino. Derek?
Pawn.
Voss? Symptom. The crime I bore?
Ours.
Collective, society's swap of empathy for ambition. I hung the robe, called Riley. Ice cream?
Yay.
Then you bang the hammer tomorrow? Tomorrow. But tonight?
Free.
Ending? Not happy. Not tragic. Debated in bars. Forums, hero or hybrid horror. I walk the line. Gavel in one hand, Riley's in the other. Power corrupts, only if you let it swap you out. Chicago winters break eventual, spring thaws the lies. And me, Kenzie Harlan, judge and janitor of my soul.
Cleaner now.
Meaner. Ready for whatever twist comes next.